Alright, let's check out this Row video. Music isn't authentic anymore. So the title of the video is Music Isn't Authentic Anymore, always with a controversial take.
Hello, Internet. Authenticity in art and music is something that's been discussed forever, and I just want to talk about it today, how I don't think it exists. I don't know if it ever existed, or at least it doesn't exist in the way that people think it does. So let's start with music. So with music...
Okay, I'm gonna hear him out here. Maybe I'm pause Andying, but I don't understand how music and art are not authentic. Like, I would say the more closer you get to like a mainstream, the less authentic it's gonna be, the more it's gonna be like scientifically created in like a lab, synthesized in a lab. Is Tony your partner? No, dude. He's a Grammy award-winning mix engineer, audio engineer. He's a homie. He's a homie.
They think about the artist is talking about things that have actually happened to them in their real life, or it's coming from a real place of experience. And that's great. And that's, you know, that is authentic. And I think hip hop especially is obsessed with authenticity.
I was hangry. That's always my excuse too.
And that has led me to feel that same way, you know, where I feel like the songs that I make always have to be about my life or about my own experiences or about, you know, the things that I think.
I think it depends on the genre too. I think rap music, sometimes it's authentic, but a lot of times it's pretty not authentic.
Or things that I've gone through or things that I do.
Definitely very clickbait titles though. Like, people accuse me of clickbait titles, but this is crazy. This is crazy levels of clickbait in my opinion. Hey, thank you for the $2.
I think authenticity is kind of hard.
How do you kill 3 people?
fake.
How do you plea? I was hungry.
Because if you're faking a persona for art, that is your authentic self. Does that make sense? Like,
okay,
if I want to make
we're getting philosophical
that's not
here.
me, I completely made it up. That is an authentic expression of art, right? Like, it's something you came up with in your head. It's something that you want to do. So how is that not authentic? Just because it's not your personal life experience, you know? And I think even if somebody wants to be like, you know, set up by a label, like an industry.
Appreciate the donations, guys.
Plant or something.
I don't know why I wasn't
even
updating.
If that's what's happening.
Cardi B isn't authentic. I mean, I'm sure some of it is authentic.
And there's like something else behind the music other than just the artist's drive to make music. That still is authentic because they're just making a product. They're making themselves into a product sometimes, you know? Like, and even if someone's being completely fake and they're lying, they're outright lying about their experiences because they want you to believe them. They're not being open about it being...
I feel like the only music that people would do listen is rap music. Like, if I'm being 100% honest, like, what other music are people like lying in their lyrics about often, you know?
Or about it just being art and not real life. That in itself is authentic because this is a fake person, you know? This person is authentically fake. So obviously, you know, that's just my definition and that's how I see it. I didn't always see it this way. I used to have a really hard time making music because I thought that it had to be this most authentic thing where I'm like, oh.
What kind of music? Does he make like lo-fi? I mean, I feel like if we're talking instrumental music, like, I feel like that's, you know, that's pretty, it's about as authentic as you're going to get unless you're just like making shit that you genuinely do not like. Does this guy only pretend to be a communist? I don't know. I don't know his social or financial political views.
I grew up listening to this style.
Death metal's pretty lyrically True. Okay, that is true. I do see what you're saying, THC King.
Style of music. So if I don't include that in my music, then that means I'm not making the most authentic music that I can. And sure, if you want to do that, that's great. If you want to, like, you know, wear your influences on your sleeve, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's actually really cool. Whatever you make is an authentic expression of you. You know what I mean? Like, it may not be what you want it to be. You know, like, say you have to, you know, you're like making a song for a commercial and you don't...
Drake is not authentic. Yeah, definitely. Drake is a full-on fucking fraud, dude. A lot of the stuff he says is completely fraudulent. Like, all this like gangster shit he's been talking like the past few years, I don't think he has shooters. I don't know. He's totally not. He's not a threat to anyone, is what I'm saying.
The song, but you're just doing it for money and it's not really like your most passionate project that you've ever worked on.
Definitely sync music is pretty, yeah, that could be pretty inauthentic. I mean, because you're just like making stuff to fit the scene, you know? It doesn't have to be something you technically feel.
That's still an authentic piece of art because you made it for a reason. You know, you made it for yourself. Still, the result is not expression. The result is money, but that's still an authentic expression of you. So I'm of the mentality now where I don't think...
I don't know about that, dude. I could just lay down a chord progression that somebody else's... It's just me, like, laying down, like, a chord progression that I either have heard before or that I think may work for this thing. I guess it kind of depends how you're going about making music, right?
I think you can be inauthentic. because even if you're being inauthentic, that is you being
Hey, what's
authentic.
up, Samurai?
Again, even if you're straight up lying
What do you do an ad around that chord progression makes it you? Yeah, I guess so. But you don't have to like genuinely be feeling it though. Especially for like sync music.
and deceiving people, you are a liar and a deceiver. That's who you are, at least in that moment. So it's like, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm also very of the mentality that I don't believe that bad art exists. Maybe there's certain techniques that people are not achieving to the highest level that they can, but I don't know. I think everything has its place, you know? One
Mount up
person
again. Let me grab my horse.
thinks something is good.
Hey, I'm calling you out though, Sin Samurai. You're a phony. You're a fraud. Nah, I'm just kidding. This is like when your stoner friend has a thought, but you figured the same thing out years ago and you just have to nod and say, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then it's good, you know? It's all subjective. And also, like, if a bunch of people hate it, you're eliciting a reaction out of people. And that in itself is a good thing that art can do, is just elicit an emotional reaction from people. So I think people's obsession...
Nah, he doesn't really define authenticity. I don't know. I feel like this is a little too rambly. That's kind of the problem with his videos, in my opinion. Like, it's not really... Like, I feel like if you're going to do a discussion video about this, you have to set points. You have to set points where it's like, okay, this is authenticity. Maybe this music is authentic. Maybe this isn't. There's nothing really, like... There's no progression, you know?
By and large, it does not exist as much as it used to. I think now people don't even care if the music they're listening to is fake.
Don't trust Google, Weaver.
I don't even want to get into
Fake
AI.
news.
I'm talking about human-made art still. This might be a different conversation in a little while when AI is just normal and people are just regularly listening to AI music and they don't care. That will happen. But I think at least for now, we're in a point with art where
Hey, thanks, General.
I think people just want to hear good music. And if you make something that people like, they're going to listen to it. They don't.
I think that's true, but I think with AI music, it would have to be really, really good for them to listen to, unless they're just like completely shitters who don't give a fucking shit about authenticity at all. I feel like people do kind of care about it to some degree. I mean, I do. Like, it would have to be a very good song generated by AI for me to be like, oh, I'm going to listen to that more than once. It has to be very, very good.
Don't care it's your real life or not. You know, like, there's plenty of rappers that talk about stuff in their music that they don't do in real life. Like when it comes to guns or drugs or just
Tekashi
whatever
6ix9ine.
their life background is, they're lying about it because they know that that's the product that people will consume and then they will make more money.
It's crazy that people do that. I don't know if you guys have ever rapped before, but like rapping about stuff you don't do feels so fucking fraudulent. It feels gross. It feels gross. I feel like you have to have a lack of self-awareness in order to do that and stand by it.
Their goal was to make more money, then they're doing what they should be doing.
What's the most gangster shit you ever done? No, I ran into somebody's house, I choked out their dog, and then slapped somebody up for their money. I didn't do that. Something, hit the keys, did that. I thought it'd be funny if I said that. I don't know what's the most gangster shit I ever did. Probably run from the cops.
They're achieving their goal.
Don't tell anybody that. Or it's probably, it's past it. It's past. Like, I can't be busted for it anymore.
They're expressing what they want to express and getting the results that they are trying to get. I'm curious what you guys think, because I might be a little bit too like left out in the middle of nowhere with my thought process on this. I really don't think there's much objectivity when it comes to art, aside from just like I said, techniques. But sometimes like doing a technique incorrectly is the goal. Like I just put a song out and it's blown out, you know, like it's distorted, but that's what I wanted. I wanted it to sound like that. So you could...
I want to hear it. Let's see. Sleep Field. Oh, wait. He links it right here. Yeah, he's rambling. He needs to ramble up. It's not bad. I think the vocals could be mixed a little better. Like some saturation on the vocals would be good. This is kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I like it. I don't know if I'd listen to it personally, but I get it.
say that, you know, objectively, I didn't achieve
Video goes
certain
hard. It's just
level
a
of
video pointed up of him smoking.
cleanliness in music that people are looking for, but that's okay because there's going to be people that like what I put out. And it was authentically what I wanted to create in that moment. You know, I don't want to talk
I've seen
about
that movie,
mixing.
man.
I already talked about that in another video, but I mixed the song the way I wanted it to sound. I wanted
There are definitely ways to do like the oversaturated or distorted sound and make it sound good. Some people do it like in a really shitty way where they're just like clipping the shit out of the master. I feel like if you do it in a way where you're like doing it in individual instruments and like properly process it, like I totally get it. But like just blowing out the master is like really stupid.
to sound distorted. I wanted it to sound blown out because that's the effect I was going for the song. And that's authentically what I wanted to hear. I needed to hear that distortion and that like extra oomph to really express the feeling that I was trying to convey in that song. Now, whether it comes across to other people, that's still to be seen. But the execution of what I was trying to do, I succeeded. And I feel like it's an authentic expression of myself.
Well, it's subjective for sure, but what I'm saying is like when people do that and then like you're losing the snare because of it, unless that's really what you want the snare to not be hitting, it's kind of hard to justify that. Cemetery, I have not heard a Cemetery song I like. Like every song I've heard from Cemetery I thought was terrible. That's just me personally though.
Now, I make plenty of music that I like, but after a while I'm like, I don't know if this is really like what I am about. You know, sometimes I make things that are too much like something else. I think partially because I'm trying to learn more about that style of production, let's say.
Another problem with mixes like that, though, or masters like that, is it's very fatiguing for the ear. You know, I think that's another thing people don't really think about. Like, obviously, like, get the sound you're going for, but you have to be careful. You're making it harder for people to listen to music, especially if you overdo it.
But sometimes it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm in a place where I'm not feeling secure in my own voice, and I want to still make something, and I want to still create something that I like the sound of. So I'll kind of copy another style. And you might think that that's inauthentic because I'm copying.
That can be authentic too, because it's like, let's say I'm like making something in the style of Flying Lotus. I'm really inspired by Flying Lotus, though. Doing something inspired by him, you know, it's still authentic, but also it can help you like progress towards doing something more authentic as well. It can be like stepping stones.
Being somebody, but in that moment, that's what I need to do. That's what I want to do. That doesn't mean I'm going to put that song out and stand behind it and be like, this is my sound. I personally don't want to do that, but other people do that all the time. I'm talking about rap specifically again, because that's the most, you know, into the scene online, especially, that I'm paying attention to. And what I listen to mostly is a lot of rap music, a lot of modern rap music. There are so many artists that come out and they sound exactly like another artist. And at first you're like, what the hell? Like, I can't believe people are doing this. I can't believe someone is just blatantly copying another artist.
You guys know the white guy, huh? The white guy that was like popular for a while? Fuck, I can't think of his name right now. I can't think of it right now.
And nobody seems to care.
No, not John Wayne.
But then after a while,
no, not
I
Logic.
stop caring. Because if the song is good, I'm going to listen to it. If I want to hear the song.
What is his name? Ian. There we go. Ian, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I just thought of it right before you said it.
I think it's corny sometimes. And there's sometimes where it's so obvious and so corny that I can't
believe that popped off. I can't believe Ian popped off. I kind of think Ian may have been an industry plant. I don't know if this is like past though, but I really think he may have been an industry plant. And like they abandoned him once like people started kind of like being like, nah, fuck this guy.
Get past that. And I don't want to listen to it. But even me, as someone who's like old now, I'll listen to new guys and I'm like, man, this is so obviously a copy of this artist. And at first I'm like, nah, this is lame. But then the more I hear it, I'm like, no, this is actually just good. Because that's always existed. You know, even in like the golden age of hip hop in the 90s, with boom bap, there were so many artists that just were copying other artists. You just didn't hear about them as much because it was harder to put your music out and have people hear it. There were so many artists that were just blatant ripoffs.
I feel like we're going nowhere with this now. You know, decent topic. Like the thing with his videos, like he has good topics, but the execution is very rambly and like lacks pinpointed direction. You know, when it lacks direction and structure, it's easy to repeat yourself. You know, in a video form, it's like, bro, you had every opportunity to edit this, to structure this. You know, had all the time in the world, you know?